Yo guys, now welcome back towards this new stream here on the channel, and on today's stream I will be discussing the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market because today once again we are trading literally 15% higher like we were trading yesterday around this time. So yesterday, actually 2 days ago already, on the 23rd of February, we saw a significant decrease of an approximately 13% towards the downside. In this decreasement, everyone was afraid. Everyone thought, okay, this is right now the end of Bitcoin. But like I warned everyone about, the war, the hike of the interest rates, it was already priced in on this market correction. And then we started to be moving back up here with an approximately 16.5% towards the upside in just a matter of a few hours. And to be exact here, from the low towards the high, it took us only 15 hours to climb back with an approximately 16% on the market. And that is, of course, absolutely crazy. Right now, we can see all these different kinds of assets as well, once again, increase back in towards the market. And I'm definitely looking forward towards how the coming hours are going to be expanding itself here on the market, and how especially the coming weeks are going to be expanding itself on the market. Of course, yesterday I told I've already opened some positions on some certain altcoins here. Let's say I opened a position on EGLD, I opened a position on Bitcoin, I opened a position on Ethereum, and currently as well, one of my Ethereum trades is right now absolutely skyrocketing, currently 77% in the profit. I already locked in some profits yesterday a little bit here. Since yesterday, I was more than $13,000 in profit. I locked in, of course, literally on the run up on this candle over here. I locked in some profits, and right now I will be trying to use those profits to accumulate once again back further in towards this position, because I'm planning to make a big position, because like I told everyone before, I am willing to be building up a very big position on Ethereum to make a long-term trade here, because what I'm currently expecting is that Ethereum is going to perform very good here in towards the May/June, basically the summer of 2022. Why do I expect Ethereum is going to trade so strongly? Is because the merge hard fork update that will be rolling out will be making Ethereum the world's biggest deflationary asset, will be making it for me a very interesting asset to invest in. I already am hugely invested into Ethereum, and right now I'm trying to, of course, hold an extra amount of Ethereum, scoop in an extra amount of Ethereum to settle my positions down here, of course. So right now what we can see, we're first of all going to start with our Bitcoin analysis. Let's start with that, of course. We can see that we were looking at this descending bouldering wedge scenario. Of course, yesterday I talked about this while we were trading on the lower side. And we clearly, of course, the day before, the 23rd of February, saw a clear fake out. Of course, if we're going to be approaching this pattern on the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see there was no fake out or whatsoever, is because on the 4-hourly candle, we have not seen a breakout occurring on that candle close, because we came up and came down right away afterwards very quickly. So what we can see on the 1-hour time frame is that we saw a clear fake out, and we're once again breaking out towards the upside. Pretty interesting if you would ask me, since we're not seeing a breakdown here. This is most certainly right now confirmation of a breakout for sure. If you're wondering where is the price target at, it's going to be at the top side of the bouldering wedge here, and in this case it's going to be an approximately 6.6% rise from of the current point of recording, and it means that the price target is going to be trading around to $41,000. If we're going to real quickly analyze some momentum, and if we're going to quickly analyze purely the charts here, we can see that we were about to form a new higher high on the market. This is going to be absolutely crucial to do, since right now it looks to be that we could be potentially form some kind of a cup and handle scenario where we are forming a cup here and then handle on the right side, and that could be leading towards a more bullish continuation up here. But actually what is going to be very important on the exact time of recording with the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market is that we're going to be breaking above this $39,000 level. Why question mark? Is because this $39,000 level, wait, let me go towards a clear chart for a second before I lose my chart here. What's pretty important. So what is going to be important about this $39,000 level is that we then could be, of course, start to be creating an uptrend on the 1-hour time frame, because like you can see on the market right now, we've been forming lower high after lower high after lower high after lower high, and still we are forming a lower high. So yes, to be exact, we're still in a downtrend. Yes, for sure, I can clearly see that. It's definitely not really a thing that's hard to spell here. And what is going to be crucial is that we're going to start an uptrend. And in the case to that, for that to be happening, we have to be breaking above the 39,000 US dollars again. So what we can see first of all is that we create a V-shaped recovery. And if you don't know already, but V-shaped recoveries only get created on very strong market bottoms most likely. And a market bottom is usually getting formed after a V-shaped recovery. So right now, since we're seeing such kind of a strong V-shaped recovery and really showing the strength on the market, we could be indeed in for a very strong market bottom, because yeah, the title as well here, the Bitcoin bottom may be in right now, and I will be going into different time frames to explain why I do think the bottom could be potentially in right here, and I will be go over that in a moment, so please stick a little bit longer in towards the stream here. But yeah, indeed, there's definitely a very big scenario that we could be playing out in potential cup and handle scenario, where we're then going to see a continuation from off. If we're going to go further in towards the 4-hourly time frame, and if we're going to discuss it, I basically will be discussing the same pattern, the descending broadening wedge, but this one has not seen a fake out, but right now is seeing a clear breakout. What we can see, of course, on this pattern is that we're forming clear touch points here, like you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections, and of course several 3, 4, 5 touch points on the lower side. So yes, this pattern is definitely one of the most significant patterns to be trading here on the current time of recording, because it is showing so much significance on the market. Again, we are once again trading above the 38.2k, what is actually pretty good. And actually right now on the exact time of recording, we are retesting this horizontal level. And if you don't know already, this horizontal level has been showing us a lot of significant support, resistance, support. So like you can see from the past, this level did show us a lot of support slash resistance signals. And on the 4-hourly time frame, actually, I've not even mentioned this, we formed actually a higher high on the market. So in the 4-hourly time frame, we are forming a bullish market structure. So I'm actually very comfortable that the market could be maybe potentially already be in here, and that we're very close with once again sending Bitcoin towards higher levels above the 40,000 US dollars again. So since seeing a breakout of this pattern as well, we basically have the same price target around to 40.6k, 40.1k, basically a 6.5% price target from the current point of recording, means that we could be indeed see some more potential towards the upside. So Bitcoin is actually looking pretty strong here for the imminent short term. Still, we do know we have a CME gap above us, and most likely this one will be getting filled here in the coming days ahead of ourselves. If we're going to go further in towards it, and if we're going to analyze here the daily time frame, Bitcoin. I discussed Bitcoin yesterday, and we were talking about the daily time frame. I was talking about, if Bitcoin is going to maybe do this and this, we're actually going to be looking pretty good here. And basically what I said here, because Bitcoin, while we were looking at it yesterday, was trading on this lower side here. It was literally trading on the lower ranges over here. And I said to everyone out there, if there's going to be a possibility for Bitcoin to wick back up here and close this daily candle still above the 36k, it's going to be looking extremely bullish. Why? Is because right now still we have still in play this potential double bottom scenario, and we have been clearly seeing Bitcoin trading around this level, suggesting that we indeed see a very strong level of support here, and we are still forming a higher low than this low over here. So on the daily time frame, we're actually looking pretty strong here. We're looking like we could be for sure in for a bottom here, especially after creating such a significant wick on the lower side, suggesting that the bulls are definitely stronger and the bears, the sell pressure is running out of the market. So it is actually looking very good here. While was talking about the sell pressure, we do still know that we have negative funding rates, because everything below the 0.01 is negative funding rates. So Binance is still negative, OKX is still negative, Bybit is still negative, FTX is positive, DX is negative again as well. So still markets are over leveraged towards the downside, especially if we were looking to Ethereum. They are still a little bit more leveraged towards the downside, and in general most of the altcoins are as well still leveraged towards the downside. So still a lot of bears across the border. And if you don't know already, in the past 24 hours, we have seen an approximately $400 million in shorts getting liquidated. So that is very significant, that short orders are getting liquidated so significantly. And this is definitely a lovely pair to be in, of course. So to be exact, in the past 24 hours, we've been seeing $253 million US dollars in short orders getting liquidated, majority of them coming from FTX. So that's pretty interesting to be seeing, if you would ask me, of course. So many shorts getting squeezed out of the market, resulting in the price action as well to grow again towards the upside. And still there are yet a lot of people that are extremely bearish. That is of course what we can right now as well see from the funding rates. So still, even though we flushed out a lot of short positions, new short orders are coming in again and flowing in towards the market, resulting in maybe a potential second short squeeze that we can get on this market. Actually, the more shorters that are going to be in the market, the more bullish I will become, because the more people that are trying to bet against Bitcoin are always going going to be getting wrecked here, because on the longer term, shorting Bitcoin, it is absolutely one of the most terrible decisions that you actually can do here. As well, the RSI is still looking pretty decent right now here, since it yesterday was oversold for a moment. Right now it's looking pretty strong again, around the 42 in the index. But most importantly, what I want to be seeing here on the market is that Bitcoin is going to be breaking above that 39.2k level. 39.2k is of course this horizontal range here, where we have seen several rejections from, several support touches, and several rejections as well in the market. If we're going to once again trade above of this range here, this could be looking and showing us some more strength on the market, and this could be looking and opting us to see the market once again growing further on towards the upside. I basically want to be seeing some similar candle like we saw last time around here in the beginning of February, exactly on the 4th of February. So hopefully today we could see a continuation of yesterday. Today it's Friday, so today's the last day before the weekend. Usually the last day before the weekend, we're seeing more volatility pick up on the market, because in the weekends usually we're going to see more manipulation, and of course stock markets are going to close, etc. Talking about stock markets, guys, before going further into towards Bitcoin, the US 500, so basically the S&P 500, yesterday recovered very strongly towards the upside. Also a reason why Bitcoin did broke bullish again here, but actually Bitcoin did outperform the stock market massively, because the stock market, of course, recovered with maybe 3 or 4%, but Bitcoin recovered with over 16.5%. So that was actually pretty interesting to see. Stock market still trading in a downtrend. We're still looking towards this critical downward sloping trend line here on the market. But basically what happened is why the stock market is moving up again is because the Russia and Ukraine war was basically already priced in towards the stock market, because tensions were high, prices were falling already for a longer time here. Then the war did broke out here, and on the point the war did broke out, we saw another fear fall, and then afterwards we saw the sanctions getting announced here. What was actually pretty bullish, pretty bad for Russia, because Russia is losing so much economic power that the market once again started to be rising. Of course, if we're going to look at the Russian stock market, we can see, if we're going to look at the weekly overview, that we did wick and came down massively. They basically undone approximately 679 days here, aka 3 years, 2.5 years of hard work on the stock market. Everything is undone here of their economic growth. Everything is done. And of course, it was resulting in Russian citizens losing over 250 billion US dollars. So still, it felt more than 46% since they announced, and since they were putting their troops up here near the border. So the Russian stock market is absolutely doing terrible, and hopefully it will continue doing terrible, because I totally disagree with all the steps Putin is currently taking in the world here. So hopefully it will be even have a more terrible effect on their economic growth, etc. If I'm going to talk about is the potential bottom in here, I'm going to look at the daily time frame, and I'm going to look at the wider scale time frame for Bitcoin. And what we can see here is that Bitcoin on the wider time frame, on the daily time frame, basically has been trading in, of course, this reaccumulation phase. So we have been seeing a rejection on the line over here. We've seen several support touch over here. Here we basically formed a double bottom on the market, and that was the point that we were starting to reverse. Have we ever seen a double bottom on the market with such big wicks on the lower side? No, we have not seen them. So once again, we're forming similar sort of market structures like we did here in this correction of May 2021 here. And actually, to compare everything together from this downtrend in terms of how long it took us approximately 97 days here to reverse back towards the upside. So it took us 97 days here to create the bottom and of course continue our way up here. Right now, if we're going to look at how long this took us, it took us 107 days here, 106 days even. So we're seeing approximately similar time frames, of course, between the 90 towards 110 days for this market correction. Makes a lot of sense to see the bottom right now over here, because Bitcoin markets can't inevitably move down here, because there's going to be one point of time whether the sell pressure is going to be disappearing. And right now, of course, we're definitely in those zones, and we're definitely in those prices that the sell pressure is disappearing right now. And this is actually looking pretty strong for the market, and this is actually also one of these signals that the bottom may be in over here. And I definitely believe that we could be saying the bottom is very close to be in, or it is already in over here. And that is, of course, having a lot of bullish consequences. As well, on the RSI, we're seeing the similar structures getting formed like we did last time around here on the market. To be clear, what did we did last time around on the RSI? We basically created a double bottom on the RSI. Like you can see over here, let me make it orange. You can see here, we created a double bottom on the RSI over there. And then right now, what we're doing again on the market is creating a double bottom on the RSI. So we're seeing similar structures, not only in the price section, but as well in the momentum indicators, basically repeating themselves here and showing us definitely zones where the market is at a better stage of accumulation. As well, what we can see in terms of significance is that we're trading on the lower side of the risk zone for accumulating, because if we're trading on the upper support line on this level that we're right now looking at, it shows us that the accumulation risk is extremely low for accumulating Bitcoin. If we're trading at the top side, it shows us that the accumulation risk of Bitcoin is extremely high here, and the chance is definitely there that you're still going to lose your value on buying on the higher sides here on the market. As well, we can see that this is a very significant parallel channel to look at, is because we got a lot of touch points. We first got this touch point of a rejection over here, then we got a middle touch point over here, we got another middle touch point over here in the market, we saw rejection on the top side, we saw rejection over here, we saw rejection on the top side again, we saw double rejection on the middle line of the parallel channel, and then we're seeing once again the double bottom over here twice in the market. So we can clearly say with full 100% confidence is that this parallel channel is one to look at right here. Why? Is because it did show us already enough touch points to be a valid pattern to be looking at. And right now, since it is a valid pattern to be looking at, I will take this in consideration and we'll use this. And of course, I already use this to show me and to indicate for me whether I want to be starting to be accumulating, whether I want to be starting to be selling, and whether I do think it's a fair value of accumulating my Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. And right now, once again, I think it's a pretty fair value to be start accumulating your cryptocurrencies at on these levels, especially below the 40,000 US dollars. It is definitely on the lower risk of side here. We do know that the risk tends to be, of course, decreased as long time continues, because Bitcoin is a scarce asset and are going to become only more and more hodlers, and that is why the bottoms tend to be moving up. And of course, it's not only on this time frame, but if I go towards the monthly time frame and go to log, oh wait, this is not the right chart for it. But if I go towards a different chart, let me go to the BLX chart here for a second, and if I go towards the weekly time frame and put up the logarithmic scale, we do know Bitcoin bottoms tends to be always rising. Why? Is because Bitcoin always sees an increasement amount of hodlers. There are more and more people that are seeing Bitcoin as an asset they want to be holding for the rest of their life here, and that is why bottoms always increase in price. And basically as well, if we look here towards the 2015-2016 bottom, we basically seen similar structures. We've been seeing a very long, boring period of sideways accumulation. Then we formed some kind of a double bottom on the monthly time frame with a little bit of a higher low here, and we started this bull run up towards 2016 as well. Once again, we're seeing similar structures, and we could be seeing a more significant increase from this point here. So I mean, I'm actually pretty bullish about what we currently can see on this market. If I do go towards the dollar index, we are literally trading against resistance, showing us, indicating us we are at levels where the risk is most certainly very, very low. And I should disable logarithmic time frame, because otherwise the chart will be not significant enough here. But we can clearly see that the DXY here, dollar index, is as well trading against very critical resistance. What is for me a clear zone, indicating a clear zone of accumulation here on the market. So stopping accumulating Bitcoin for me has never been a thing that I've been really doing. Of course, I can as well look towards this lower side of support, of course. And this is going to be pretty important to look at, of course. But basically it shows us with all these things together, with the parallel channel trading on the lower side of risk here, with the dollar index trading against an increasement amount of risk here, because we're trading against the top side, we're trading in a downtrend, we're trading against an RSI rejection line here, we're trading against this trend line towards the downside, and we've been in a downtrend for already more than 30 years on this market. It shows me we have been seeing, and we are currently seeing, one of the best accumulation zones and the best accumulation opportunities in the market that I've ever seen before. So that is why I am accumulating massive amounts of cryptocurrencies right now here, and not, of course, only Bitcoin. I am accumulating altcoins for sure right now as well, because altcoins are having a very big sell-off, and that is the reason why I am loading up on those currently right now here. So as well, to go a little bit more depth in towards this market, we can clearly see Bitcoin on the weekly time frame has been forming a beautiful higher low here. It's basically the same pattern we were just looking at on the daily time frame, but to be very clear and to show you guys more in depth about it, on the weekly time frame, this pattern is as well still in play. I warned you guys yesterday while we were trading at it, this candle was trading over here on the weekly time frame. I said the chance of wicking back towards the upside is extremely big here, and that is why I am still accumulating, because we are trading on the least amount of risk zone for the market. So I am very excited about where this is going towards from this point, but still on the weekly time frame we are also looking like we are in a valid pattern. So this is basically my Bitcoin predictions. These are basically my Bitcoin analysis that I currently got prepared for you guys. If you're just tuned into our stream, we just discussed Bitcoin in depth for 20 minutes. So please go back a little bit here if you want to see me talking a little bit more in depth about that one. But right now, since we talked about Bitcoin, I want to be starting to talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum was absolutely pretty interesting to see actually. So Ethereum trading on the $2,600 I accumulate my Ethereum position. And what you can see over here yesterday, and I have to I have to go to towards my Ethereum page. I accumulated with a 9x leverage here. I accumulated here on the $2,300. $2,300 was literally on this range over here. I accumulated on the horizontal support range because on the 4-hourly time frame, if you're going to look at the 4-hourly time frame here, like you can see over here, this was my level that I was accumulating more Ethereum at. Of course, yesterday I discussed it in the stream. Yesterday I discussed it that I was accumulating more Ethereum on that level because we saw this level on the lower side providing so much support, and this zone in general providing so much support that was for me, of course, a no-brainer to accumulate more Ethereum around that range here. So far, the structure is not necessarily breaking bullish yet here, but we are seeing that we are not forming a bullish bearish divergence so far, so it is actually still looking pretty decent. Yes, I will be basing my opinion off of Bitcoin, but Ethereum is going to definitely be as well very important asset to be looking at because I am as well currently trading it. If I'm going to look at the ranges where we're basically bouncing between here, you can see we're bouncing between the lows and the highs, and in order for Ethereum to see more bullish price action, we have to be breaking above to 2,773 here. If we do break above this level over here, we can most certainly see a further increasement back towards the $3,300. But that will be only happen if we, of course, in this case, break above the $2,700, and if we do break above that range over there as well. In terms of daily candles, yes, we saw a beautiful daily candle close here, and yes, this is leading towards more bullishness on the daily time frame as well, because yeah, we're forming a clear higher low. It looks to be a very clear higher low since we as well formed a very, very significant wick on the lower side, suggesting we are having a lot of strength in the market, suggesting that this hammer candle that even closed in towards the green here is greedy for more territorium towards higher levels here. So that is actually looking pretty decent if you would ask me. If you're going to really analyze the 1-hour time frame, there's nothing really special to see unless this time frame, unless this pattern that we're currently unfolding right now on this market over here on the exact time of recording. So Ethereum right now on the exact time of recording is seeing some interesting development, right? So what we can see is that we're forming a symmetrical triangle here, and that we are forming a significant breakout in the coming hours most likely. So what we can see is that we are forming a symmetrical triangle, and this will be breaking up probably in the coming hours ahead of ourselves with the price action of Ethereum as well, guys. A real quick update here about cryptocurrency news here is like Coinbase was absolutely crazy what they did here, and we'll go further in towards the Ethereum analysis in a moment here because I've got still some things to prepare for you guys out there. Currently, we do know that Coinbase, of course, released their Q4 net profits. What is pretty interesting that is in 2021, 2022, their Q4 profits were around the 177 million net profits right here. So with all the costs outside of it, they made a net profit of 177 million US dollars. But in Q4 of 2021, they made a profit of a net income of 840 million US dollars. So that's absolutely a crazy amount of growth here that Coinbase is making, showing and suggesting us that Coinbase is, of course, such a strong growing company. And of course, in the US, everyone is almost using Coinbase, and it's in a company that's becoming so big here. Their stock is well up more than 4% today here. So it's been actually pretty interesting what we can see on this market over here. So hopefully Coinbase could see some more potential towards the upside, but absolutely interesting that these companies are performing so well here. But on the minute short term, we are going to be definitely look at this Ethereum US dollar symmetrical triangle right here on the market. Of course, what we do still as well look at is that we're looking at basically was this symmetrical triangle on the daily time frame on Ethereum compared to Bitcoin. We did broke out here, but like I told everyone before already, we're only going to look for a bearish breakdown if we're going to be breaking this horizontal range over here. But basically, the lower Ethereum is going to come against Bitcoin, the more significant price decreasements we will be the more significant buying opportunities we will be most likely see here. So it is going to be actually pretty interesting how it's going to be developed itself further on from this point here. But I'm going to keep my eyes wide open on the Ethereum compared to Bitcoin balance. And if we do break below this horizontal range over here, we're definitely going to be looking at some lower targets over here on this chart. As well, I did saw that there was some news between Russia and Ukraine here. Is that Russia is currently doing a rocket attack on Kiev, and that ground troops are trying to come closer towards Kiev. So that's absolutely terrible to see. Of course, I definitely live with the people in Ukraine, because I think it's absolutely terrible what is currently going on over there, and hopefully it still will be, of course, become all right. I have a very bad feeling about it, but hopefully something will be turned out positive for Ukraine, and hopefully we can stop the Russians. And I think that like Putin has to go to jail, because what he's doing right now in the world is absolutely terrible, because he is causing war in the world, and we have to stop it. And he's crashing all markets, and especially like he is killing Ukraine citizens, what is absolutely terrible, because he shouldn't be doing that. He is invading their country. It is not his country. So it's of course the second day of the invasion. Hopefully it can be stopped as soon as possible, and hopefully Russia withdraws their troops as soon as possible, because there are so many economic sanctions that Russia is going to take such a hard hit here, economically speaking, and hopefully they will literally crash their economic system. So it's absolutely terrible what we can see over here. Do you see a cup and handle? I mean, I already discussed it. That's why you should go a little bit early into our stream. I do see a clear V-shaped recovery, and you could be as well approached indeed like in cup and handle scenario, where we're right now going to form the cup on the right side, and we could be still see a potential bullish breakout from here on. So as well onto this stream, we the world needs peace. Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone is always like saying, oh, we have to be fixing the world, like the how you say it, there's always too much pollution in the world, blah blah blah, and we have to like save our stuff. We in the Netherlands we have to drive electric cars, and then on the other side of the world, like the other side of Europe, they're just firing rockets and literally blowing up the world here. I mean, it's terrible. We just need peace in the world, because they're absolutely messing everything up here, and because of that we have to work harder, and because of that they're just screwing up so millions and millions of people here. It's just terrible to see what they're doing, and Putin has to be put in prison. He has got too much power for a man like his, and he's got like maybe he thinks, yeah, like he's also got nuclear powers, and that's of course a thing I'm extremely scared for right now here, because yeah, it could be of course go literally the other way around, and hopefully it won't happen that he's going to use nuclear powers, but like the world could be turned into towards a whole different place if he does decide to do something different, of course. So hopefully it's going to become everything all right here, and yeah, let's see how it's going to just play out here. No problem. Let's see. What about Ukraine shelling? I mean, yeah, head and shoulders forming on the Bitcoin. Head and shoulders forming on Bitcoin. So let's see, which time frame are you talking about in head and shoulders? Yeah, we can be looking at the potential head and shoulders formation on the 4-hourly time frame, but not really. It's not already close enough yet. So I'm still going to be definitely take it very slow. Daily time frame, if we're going to come up from this point again, yeah, we could be seeing potential and head and shoulders still getting created here, but for me, I'm just going to casually wait to see how the market is going to further develop. I'm not going to speculate very dubiously right here. Let me see what we are having currently over here on the market. Even the Russian people are protesting war. Only one who wants war is Putin. Yeah, I mean, no one wants war. I mean, literally, who wants to have war on the earth? I mean, it's definitely terrible to have war on this planet, because we should rather save this planet than rather blow it up, right? So it's absolutely terrible what we're seeing. Quickly going further in towards it, we've been seeing the US short, the Bitcoin short still increase further on here, even though yesterday we saw a massive spike up in the market. We have been seeing more and more shorts entering the market. These are the daily candles in terms of shorts that are entering the market. We've been seeing in the past 7 days more than 1,700 shorts getting entered in this market, resulting basically in an approximately, let me quickly do a right calculation here, Bitcoin trading on 30 $800 US. We've seen approximately $69 million US in shorts getting entered on the market in the past 7 days here. So still a lot of shorts flowing in towards the market. Actually, we've been seeing longs flowing in towards the market as well, massively. Of course, longs are not too bad to be getting towards the market. Why not here? Is because the more longs that are entering the market, the more buy pressure is going to be resulting in, because longs are basically buy pressure for the market. Of course, approximately 200 million US in long positions got entered in the past 9 days here. So it is actually pretty interesting what we see here as well. Gold saw a massive wick here on the top side, suggesting a lot of weakness in this chart here. What we can see, if we're going to be enabling, let's say, the Bitcoin against gold chart, and let me quickly search it up because I've got it prepared somewhere over here. It is this chart. So this is Bitcoin compared to gold, right? So in this chart, we see the valuation, how much Bitcoin is moving up against gold here. So if we're going to look at this chart here, does it look like a bull run? Yes, it indeed looks like a bull run. It actually looks very similar just to a normal Bitcoin chart, but this is the Bitcoin US dollar measured against the gold chart here. So basically showing the strength on either side here. Yesterday, we were forming, of course, and we were fighting back very strongly against gold here because gold lost value and Bitcoin grew in value. So that was absolutely pretty epic to be seeing. Still, if we're going to compare the previous lows towards each other, you've been better off on holding Bitcoin the whole time towards right now here if you were just investing into Bitcoin rather than gold here. So actually, Bitcoin has been still proving itself. It has been a better hold than gold the whole time along, even though gold has been spiking in value, whether Bitcoin has been coming down in value. So right now what we want to be seeing here is some kind of a retest here on this market, because usually what we can see is that Bitcoin is moving against the gold chart, and Bitcoin, if Bitcoin shows a very good accumulation range here for the gold chart, it usually shows as well a good accumulation range for the Bitcoin against US dollar chart, right? So what I basically saw last time around here, if I quickly extend this to the right here, is that last time around we came down towards this horizontal range on the lower side, right? And I said to everyone out there, I think this is of course a good time for accumulating Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is looking very strong against the gold chart because it was bouncing back and it was coming down towards horizontal support levels. Reason to why I was buying at that point here. Once again, right now we're seeing again this level getting touched there, showing and indicating we are again back towards accumulation levels where Bitcoin is measured against gold is very good for accumulating. Of course, on the top side, we were seeing a distribution zone, and this was a zone where Bitcoin was, of course, weaker than gold here, of course, on the top side. So once again, whether we right now can be arguing we want to be buying or selling gold, or we want to be buying or selling Bitcoin, it right now once again shows us we are back at accumulation ranges for Bitcoin against gold here. So it is actually looking like a pretty good buy over here, if you would ask me. We just have to casually wait again. We've been losing a lot of power in the RSI, but of course, like we do know, once we're coming below the 50 of the RSI, we always can clearly see that are the times for the best accumulation. Just like last time around here, the best accumulation always gets started if the markets are oversold, of course. So let me once again disable this function. So always once the market are oversold here, you tend to see the best buying opportunities. So right now the market is indeed oversold, and we can clearly see one of the best buying opportunities for a very long period of time here. Last time we had such big of an opportunity was May 2021, and of course the time before we had such big of an opportunity was of course in the pandemic crash here of the March 2020, and of course the time before that it was of course a little bit before the crash here, also trading around 4 or 5 measured against gold. So we did a clear 5x from at that point here. So accumulating around these levels where Bitcoin against gold is of course undervalued, because I will be seeing Bitcoin against gold being undervalued if it's trading below the 50 on the RSI. If we're trading below the 50 on the RSI, it shows you that accumulation is definitely right at that point here. And right now it shows us once again that accumulation is right on this point here. So it is looking pretty interesting about what we're seeing on this market right here. I am swing trading Ethereum in this market, and this is exactly what I'm doing as well. I'm trying to build up a little bit of swing trade. I'm currently only in a $10,000 position, what I currently entered myself. Actually, of course, in total it's in $75,000 trade here. But actually, I want to have, of course, a little bit more margin in this trade here. I would like to enter with, of course, maybe a 30 to 20K more. But of course, for me to enter more in towards this trade, I want to be seeing the market still go and see more bullishness, either entering the market or the market to come down a little bit further. So if the market is going to crash further from this point, I will be adding more to my position. If the market is going to increase from this point and show me a clear bullish chart here where it is clearly showing me Ethereum is forming a bullish breakout, yes, then at that point I will be starting to as well be more bullish, and at that point as well, yes, I will be starting to accumulate more towards my position. But for me, I want to be seeing all those confluences coming together. So let's see what we're having. Pray for Ukraine. Yeah, indeed. We are all doing it the same, man. Appreciate the stream, Rover. I love you guys being here as well. So it's definitely cool. The strict sanctions will be stopping Russia. I definitely think it will be having a lot of effect indeed. And the chance of these sanctions stopping Russia is extremely big here. And the reason why, right, like I want to be talking about Russia and Ukraine the whole day, but I will be not doing so. I mean, it's very important for the market. The reason why I won't do so is because I want to be still focused on like cryptocurrencies, right? And like, of course, Russia, Ukraine has some effects, so that's the reason why I talk sometimes about it. And I definitely live with the people in Ukraine here. I think it's terrible because my best friend, his family lives literally in Ukraine, and I hear all kinds of stories from him, and I see some videos of him, and it's absolutely terrible because right now in this age where we live in, you can see these videos, and it even looks more terrible, right? Because in like World War I or II, we didn't even know exactly what was going around here, but right now we can actually see it, so it is even more terrible what currently is going on here. So I'm definitely praying for those people, but what I'm currently doing here is that, like, I tweeted about it yesterday, right? I tweeted about it yesterday, and I said accumulating Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies right here is definitely not bad here. I don't believe that Bitcoin as well is going to go below 30K here. It's because it is already priced in. It's priced in. Like the Russia-Ukraine fight, it is currently priced in here. The hike of the interest rates is priced in on the market. So let's say the sanctions that right now are getting put up towards Putin is enough for them to withdraw the troops out of Kiev and withdraw the troops out of the country, because they know, they can clearly see it. It is not working because they're screwing up the whole world. They can clearly see it. They can clearly hear it left and right. So if that happens, and if it isn't enough, and they're going to withdraw their troops, what is going to happen towards the market? The fear out of nowhere is going out of the market. These corrections, the Russia-Ukraine fight, the hike of the interest rates is already priced in towards the market. What is going to be happening afterwards? We are going to see a significant market increasement, and we're going to see a significant market push up here again. So what am I doing? I am buying fear. I am buying where the majority of the people are not willing to be buying, because that is literally true here. The majority of the traders, the majority of the people that are currently in this market, they are afraid of buying right now. They're still waiting because they think Bitcoin is going to go to zero because of the war, etc. You know, so if you have the capabilities to be buying at levels where people are too scared to be buying, you're going to become, of course, very profitable in this market, because the market is, regardless you are afraid or regardless you're bullish, it is going to do its thing here. And right now in this case, it's going to be always, like Bitcoin is always behaving itself, going to move against the majority of the people's opinion. So as well, if you want to be staying up to date about these developments, make sure to follow me on Twitter at RoverCRC. You can find the link in the description as well, and you will be staying up to date about these market developments. So it will be absolutely amazing if you're going to follow us over there on Twitter. So in the meantime, Bitcoin is moving up again here. And of course, for Ethereum, we can be looking potentially at this some kind of unsymmetrical triangle that could be breaking out the coming hours ahead of ourselves. And this could be for sure lead towards more market volatility. Of course, I should be, approach this trend line maybe a little bit different, but I will be doing so after this 1 hour candle close. So it is actually looking pretty interesting about what we're currently seeing on this market. And Bitcoin can be creating, if we're going to look at the 15-minute time frame, potentially some kind like a falling wedge scenario. So Bitcoin, of course, creating downward sloping support line. I will be downward sloping resistance line from the highs, and at the same time we're forming a downward sloping support line. So maybe we're forming some kind of a bull flag here on this market. Could be leading towards more bullishness over here, enter the market as well anytime soon. So it is actually looking pretty interesting about what we're seeing. And like I just told everyone already about here, what we want to be seeing on today's candle and what we want to be seeing on today's day here is that Bitcoin is going to close above the 39.3K here. If you can do so, we're about to have a very bullish weekend ahead of ourselves here. Are you doing helium mining? I did try helium mining for a little bit. Like, it pays too less here. I get like what was it, like a few 10 or 20 cents a day or so. It was like not very interesting for me to do so. I was just like I gave it towards a friend of mine because a friend of mine told me, oh, you should do this and this, and it was like a very hard time on getting these things right. It's if you want to be buying such kind of a helium miner, they were like sold out everywhere. So it was a pretty hard job here, but it's pretty cool to do helium mining. It's pretty interesting as well to if you just look at what it is and how they do it. But actually, like for me, it doesn't really do anything here. Is it today leg day? Yeah, today is leg day, man. So once I'm done with the stream, I'm going to do some research. I have 2 calls left here, and then indeed it is leg day again. So it's definitely very, very, very important. I tell you already, the sanctions will do nothing for like a year. I mean, indeed there are some things where I think, yeah, the sanctions are maybe not good enough because Russia got a bunch of gold on their reserves. They got like literally, let me see who's the richest, who owns the most gold, which country owns the most gold? So if we're going to look real quickly, I don't know if it's an updated list here. It is 2018, so let me quickly search it up if I've got an updated list here. Which country owns the most gold? But this is like from, I don't know if it's updated right here. This is probably something on 2015. Yeah, this is 2017. In 2017, it was like the United States, and Russia was on P6. But Russia is right now, if I saw the numbers that I do know what I saw recently, Russia is around P4 or P5, and China is around P3 or P2. So it's like pretty crazy. They are buying up so much gold, and that's why gold was also spiking yesterday, because Russia said they had so much gold bought up, of course. So pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting actually what we saw over there playing out here. So yeah, gold is of course always a very important store of value. It's basically was always the backing of the US dollar, but not anymore, of course. So yeah, pretty interesting what we can see over here in terms of gold and what the countries are holding over there. Let me see. Hey Rover, do you have a Signal group? I mean, actually, we are working on some stuff here on the Signal group as well. We're working like on a team who is going to be working on it. So yes, there are like Signal groups. I don't really prefer Signal groups. I rather prefer a group where I give you guys some insights of the market, and you have to decide what you want to do with it yourself. Because if I just give you signals what I'm exactly doing here, you're not going to learn anything. I say, oh, I'm entering my order over here, I'm exiting my order over here, and then what are you going to learn from it? Nothing. So my camera once again is a little bit glitchy. I once again forgot to turn off a very important a very important thing. Yeah, it is alright again. So I know how to fix my camera now. So that's pretty cool. So let's go back into our stream here. I think Russia has been prepared for a long time. They might use Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency to go around to Swift ban if that happens. Could be for sure possible. Mining is not really interesting with these current prices. I mean, yeah, actually, it's you think right now it is not interesting. But you know what's weird? You know what's very weird here, guys, as well, before getting towards my mining story, why I do think it is interesting right now here. If you don't necessarily have to pay your, like in the Netherlands, is not interesting. I totally agree. What we can see, first of all, before going in towards my mining story, is realized losses. Yesterday, of course, and the day before, we've seen so much more realized losses getting enabled in the market. Once again, guys, if you want to be making money in towards this market, you have to look at points where people are selling off their Bitcoin. If a lot of people are selling off their Bitcoins at a certain level, at a certain range here, and you think, oh, freaking hell, the market is still coming down, I'm so afraid I'm not going to be buying, that is the time to be buying. Because in this chart, it shows you at which levels people are taking losses. Of course, people are selling off the Bitcoin against a loss, and how much realized losses in terms of US dollars is getting realized. So in the correction of the summer in 2021, we can see a massive spike here. We've seen before that, of course, almost no people taking their losses. People were totally not afraid here. People were just okay with a dip. They were just casually holding. And what we saw in May was a massive shakeout. People were so afraid. that they were selling off so much Bitcoins. And at that point, so many people got washed out of the market. All those people entered back in the market in towards October, November at the peak here. And once again, what we can see right now in hindsight is that the summer of 2021 was a very good accumulation range. Why? Is because a lot of people were selling against a loss, and that shows you a good accumulation range. So right now, what we see over here above of my head here is, of course, the exact time of recording. The exact time where we're currently living in. Of course, that is February 25th. And of course, on February 25th, and basically the days before us, we've been seeing, once again, a major amount of realized losses getting enabled. What does this show us? Once again, there are a lot of people that's selling and taking their losses on the market currently. So, especially on the correction over here, where we were trading on the $33,000 US, we were seeing more, the majority of the realized losses getting enabled. So it's definitely so wait, I was looking to, this is the unrealized loss chart here, excuse me. I have to look at the realized loss. This was the unrealized loss here. I was sitting at the wrong chart here. But basically what this chart once again shows us, the unrealized losses is how many people are in a loss here but not necessarily selling. But the realized loss here is showing us how many people are actually selling. And like you can see here in the last correction over here in the market, we saw a massive amount of people selling. And once again right here on the market, what we're right now trading on, and yesterday basically, well, we were having another major market correction, we saw a lot of people selling off again here because we were seeing the realized losses spiking again towards the upside. So pretty important to look at. We see so many people, once the market is coming down here, taking their losses, and once the losses, and even though I was just looking at unrealized losses here, if you look at the unrealized losses, and the unrealized losses are high, meaning that a lot of the wallets are in a loss here, it shows you that it is good for accumulating. Because if a lot of people are losing their value, if a lot of people are in a loss here, but still keep holding their Bitcoins, it means it's a good range for accumulation. So right now, because of that, and on top of that, I should say, we're seeing as well people definitely selling off here, not only being in a loss, but as well selling against a loss. It gives me a clear signal that this is the right zone of accumulating. And I've been accumulating for a while here because losses are important to recognize. If people are selling against a loss, you should be greedy. That is how the market works here. Because the market doesn't care if you're buying or selling. It does only look at how strong the weak, how many people are actually selling off. And at some point, there's no one going to sell off anymore here. Like in this correction over here, there was not a lot of realized losses getting enabled, resulting in the market flowing up very quickly again towards the upside, of course. So it was actually pretty cool and pretty epic to see here. But then let me go over the mining story that I do have got for you guys out there. So someone was saying it is not interesting to be mining Bitcoin right now. And I mean, what like the smart money thinks way differently right now. The smart money thinks it is actually a good zone for accumulating and a good zone for mining Bitcoin. Because what we can see on this chart is that the hash rate has been continuously growing. And as well, since the correction here on May 2021 here, the summer low where China banned Bitcoin, of course. Since of that point, we've been seeing a rise of hash rate here and more miners coming towards the market. So what we can see right now here is actually pretty interesting. We've been seeing the market once again in hash rate rising, and someone was saying, but it is not smart to be mining Bitcoin because the market is down. But yet people are mining more and more Bitcoin, even though the market is down here, and even though they are going to get less paid for their Bitcoins. But what happens? You get paid out in Bitcoins once you're mining. So if you're going to mine right now and sell your Bitcoins at an all-time high, it doesn't matter. So these miners have a different kind of a vision. These miners don't think the market is going to go in a bear market, because if a bear market starts here, they usually start stopping mining. And of course, what we can learn from the the last cycle, we have been seeing more and more miners coming in towards the market. But like you can see over here they stopped mining massively, and then we saw this correction towards the downside. And that was actually pretty interesting, because right now we have been not seeing a correction towards the downside in terms of hash rate, in terms of mining power on the market, but only an increasement. So I will be following the smart money, and since the network security is rising, since there are more people, more miners, more certain about that Bitcoin is a good to be mining right now here, I will keep mining Bitcoin. I will be keep buying Bitcoin, I should say. And of course, if we're going to go towards all-time highs, we're most likely going to see some distribution from these miners, what we always have here. Because if I'm going to look at miner revenue total, So their revenue is of course way lower right now here. This is the total revenue. I mean, in terms of Bitcoin, the revenue is always the same here. But like in terms of big US dollar revenue, it's of course way lower as well. Since the network, the Lightning network came out here, we saw yeah, pretty interesting. Oh, it is the block reward. Block reward, of course, way lower, of course, than it was before of the halving, because every single halving, the block reward tends to be always halves here. So pretty interesting what we saw over there. But like the story with the miners are thinking big. The miners are not thinking about where the price is trading today. No, they're thinking about where the price could be trading in a few months from now on. Please, Rover, tell people to donate to Ukraine what they can. Of course, I think it's absolutely important. I don't know exactly where we can donate towards Ukraine, and hopefully you can as well donate in towards cryptocurrency, because then I will be after the stream as well do a minor donation, and I will be placing it on my Twitter. Let me see. Let me as well quickly go over the prices of let me see, oil. So oil prices was pretty interesting. Like yesterday we saw a massive spike towards the upside. We were seeing oil prices spiking up towards 98 here, almost touching 100 a barrel. And then US sanction came here, and US was saying, fuck you, Russia, we're going to be give our barrels against a cheaper price. Maybe we're going to make a loss here, but it will be not make you fucking rich, of course. So that was pretty interesting what they did here, and the price of the barrels for crude oil came down right away with another 13%, if I say it correctly. Yeah, 9% here. So pretty interesting. We saw a spike, and we came down right away afterwards again. So pretty interesting what we've seen. Of course, the price of oil has been rising for a very long time here, and of course, I do remember this this pandemic crash here, where oil was at such cheap price here. At that point, I have been accumulating some oil, because yeah, we do know that we are going to need more oil, and it is a scarce asset, and it will be, of course, probably increase in the end of the day, still towards an extreme high level. So if you're asking me, do you think the crude oil futures is a good investment? I think it's a perfect investment if you're going to be having an opinion about maybe the coming 5 to 10 years, and not much longer, because at some point we're not going to need oil anymore. And of course, at that point, oil stocks will be most likely crash towards zero. But right now, yeah, I still think it's most likely going to see a further increase from this point here. So that's pretty interesting. They can't legally accept crypto. They can. I mean, Coleman, I can pay almost every single, in the Netherlands at least, I can almost pay everyone in crypto and just send like, how do you say that? Like, oh yeah, I forgot. Jesus. I can just send my invoice to someone and, just pay. I can ask them to pay in crypto. It's just easy to be done. You can pay almost everywhere in crypto nowadays. Red Bull is sponsored by Bybit. Yeah, I know. It's absolutely crazy what they're doing. Of course, Red Bull is my favorite team here, and they're sponsoring Bybit, so it's pretty cool. And as well, Rover, Crypto Rover, is as well sponsoring Formula 2 team. So that's pretty cool actually as well. It's going to be pretty epic. So like you can see over here, I'm sponsoring research for sure. And it's actually going to be even way different, because on the car, it's going to be absolutely crazy. You will see, just wait another week, I think another 2 weeks, and you will see it. Like, it's so big here. I've got something very cool. I can't say yet here. Just keep your eyes on my socials. Keep your eyes on Formula 2, because my name will be big over there. And of course, we will be winning with Richard, so it will be absolutely lovely. Lots of donate Ukraine scams. Be careful, guys. That's true. That's true. Please be careful. That's absolutely important. Yeah, indeed. There are a lot of scams, because there's still terrible people in the world that are trying to be benefiting from it. Ukraine government got Bitcoin given to them, but they are legally unable to accept it, bro. Oh yeah, that's terrible. Then we have to sort something out here. Your Rover, Russia doesn't mind the US sanctions, because they are balls deep in Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, let's see what it's going to be doing. Hopefully the sanctions will work here, and hopefully we can see the market still stay bullish from this point, and still turn up from off this point here, because it will be terrible if we're once again going to come down here, and we came up, we came down, and we come up, we come down. It will be absolutely terrible, of course, from off that point. So yeah, let's see what we are going to have here on this market. Hopefully we're going to not see anything worse here. Hopefully it will stay good. So yeah, let's see how my Ethereum trade will do. I'm going to try to keep this trade open. If we're going to come down again, I will go out of my trade with a minor profit, with like 1 Ethereum profit. So we'll keep this trade open, and if we're going to come down much more, I will be definitely go out of it. Let's go Rover indeed. I think it's pretty weird indeed. I think it's pretty weird indeed, but like it's also pretty funny, you know. Like I've got this like the Formula 2 car driver. I'm in contact with him for quite a while already. Actually, like he's a pretty cool guy. So yeah, it's for me very cool. I can sponsor him because I can help him. Isn't this bearish? Bitcoin just went parabolic and it is right now consolidating. Actually, like it is bearish because, like you can see over here on the 1 hour time frame, it is definitely shows some, like it's not a long-term consolidation. Like consolidation for like 1 to 8 hours is not bad. But what we can see right now here is that the momentum is already creeping down again. So maybe on the imminent short term is not bad, but what I expect here, if we're going to get another push up here from this point, like this, we are going to form bearish momentum. So because of that, we are going to be forming a momentum loss on the market, right? So the longer we're going to consolidate after parabolic run up, indeed, the more bearish it's going to be looking, because then we're going to see more and more momentum going out of the market. And if we're then seeing a spike back up here, we're going to just create a major bearish divergence, and then we're going to come down eventually afterwards again. So indeed, the longer we're going to consolidate after a parabolic run up, it is bad. But in this case, it's not necessarily parabolic run up. This is a parabolic recovery. This is like we saw parabolic dump, and then we saw a V-shaped recovery. So like if we are in an uptrend, it's different. If we're in an uptrend and you're going to see markets go more and more parabolic, and at one stage you go like this, it's different. But right now we've been in a downtrend, and we saw a spike back up here. It's a different kind of a structure. So yes, if we are in an uptrend, a parabolic run up, and of course after that consolidation is absolutely worse because you're losing bullish momentum in that point here. But right now we're resetting momentum to potentially go back up again, because right now we came from a different trend here. So it's definitely a difference between those two kind of things here. But indeed, yes, we are creating some more bearish momentum, and it could be having a little bit more of a bearish it could be having a little bit more of a bearish ending, of course, at the end of the day. Which app do you use to buy crude oil stocks? You could use quite a lot of it's like a future. Like you can be buying it at a lot of places here. You could, like, I use, it's like a Dutch app. I don't know if you know it. Giro is like a Dutch app. It's one of the biggest brokers of the Netherlands. But if you just look like plus 500, I think has it as well. I think you know that as well. Like if you just search up on Google broker where I can buy crude oil stock, you can search it up over there. It is pretty easy to find up here. Just search over Google. I don't know where you're from, so it really as well depends on where you're living. So I use like the Giro, but I don't know if everyone knows that app here. Could be in head and shoulders, right? For sure, could be playing out head and shoulders. We could be even play out an inverse head and shoulders. If the market is right now going to come down towards 36.5k, we could be still play out like this inverse head and shoulders over here. Still could be looking extremely bullish, of course, in this case. So we're going to be playing it out like this. So definitely everything is possible. Just a lot of speculation that's currently going around here on the market, but not all too bad here actually. But like I can't say it's head and shoulders right now here because it's not even confirmed in head and shoulders. Russia's unleashing more bombs here, so markets can vote down if Ukraine falls. I mean, yeah, Russia is currently dropping more bombs on the capital city of Russia, of Ukraine. I mean, like I told everyone before here, the thought and the fear of the Russia-Ukraine war is already priced in of the market. So just like yesterday, the invasion started and Bitcoin dropped off 5%. So it's pretty like interesting to see the market only falling 5%, and everyone said Bitcoin was going to zero if the war breaks out here, but actually it's already priced in, because on the recent weeks here we've seen so much fear coming in towards the market, and people selling off and selling off and selling off and selling off, and then the war did actually happen, and the price action, what was it doing? It actually came up again in the period of war. So please do know it. It's very important to know. Okay, nice. That's very nice to hear. So right now, guys, I will be wrapping up the stream here. What I will be doing here later today is, of course, that I will be jumping back live here as soon as we do see some market developments. So, guys, thank you so much for watching here towards this amazing, new live stream here on the channel. If there's going to be something happening on today's stream here, I will be jumping live back here on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, check out my socials in the link description, and of course press that bell notification button here if you do not want to be missing out on any of the further developments. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.